Welcome to a simple tutorial on guiding you how to set up a SharePoint lab for self-learning. When I started my career in SharePoint way back in 2007, I used to log into the Microsoft Virtual Labs and learn SharePoint on my own. Now there are various options, but still the best is the Microsoft Virtual Labs, which is risk-free. You don't have to waste money or time in installing, and it has all the setup and all the sites needed for you to learn. Today we will have a very short description of the various ways of setting up your own SharePoint environment to start learning SharePoint before you work on a live SharePoint project. So let's get started. Overall, there are three main ways. I will also share some other ways. The three main ways are: first is the Microsoft Virtual Labs. The Contoso has developed lots of SharePoint Virtual Labs and Handson through which you can start learning SharePoint. This is free. All you need is a Live or Outlook ID, and this can be accessed from the link technet.microsoft.com/en-us/virtual labs. The second option is Critical Path Training, which is truly amazing. This is free, and the only trouble is you might have to spend some effort and time to install. But if you are very keen on developing solutions in SharePoint, you would better have your own SharePoint server, and this is one VHD which you can use. Only thing is your laptop needs at least 8 GB minimum RAM for a high-speed development environment. The next option is Azure. Here you unfortunately have to pay. You have a free 1-month trial, but you have to provide your credit card information, and the charge is usage based. But for SharePoint, there is a free VM available, and you will be charged only for using the Windows server. They are charging you based on the time you use the server. So let's just have a look at the Microsoft Virtual Labs now. So the first step is to log into technet.microsoft.com/en-us/virtual labs. This is risk-free, simple, fast, and easy. And for a complex product like SharePoint, I personally would recommend this if you want to learn SharePoint on your own, where you don't have to trouble yourself in getting a new laptop or getting a new hardware setup just to install SharePoint. Over here, just expand Office, and just select SharePoint Server 2013. This is for SharePoint on-premise version. In case you want to learn the cloud version, you have to just expand this and select SharePoint Online 2013. If you are keen into learning the central administration and the administration related concepts, I would recommend you select the SharePoint Server 2013 for now. And wait for the results to populate. So after a little waiting, the SharePoint labs have come. If you see, there are lots of labs where you can do your self-learning in SharePoint or Share on-premise version of 2013. So this is my favorite lab, but apart from that, you can log into any of the labs. And if you're mostly a developer, so please go ahead and start trying the deep dive into SharePoint provider hosted apps and deep dive into SharePoint hosted apps. But if you are focusing on both administration and developer, you can start off with overview of professional features in Microsoft SharePoint Server 2013, and then look at all the sessions one by one. So now let's look at this session, Introduction to Windows PowerShell, and then click Get Started. So it's recommended to already sign to Outlook using your Live ID or your Outlook ID, and the lab window opens. So if you're sometimes this error might come, just close it and launch the lab again. Good. So now the launch lab has come. Click that. So the lab is launching. To give you an overview of this environment, Contour has developed a wonderful SharePoint environment where they have their own mailboxes configured. There is a domain controller and there is a SharePoint machine. So there are 4 or 5 machines which we can see from the machines tab on the right. And there is a tab which contains the hands-on content. So you merely have to follow those steps and start learning SharePoint. So apart from that, if you just merely want to play around, like browse through the central administration or create your own Visual Studio solutions, that is also possible. Only thing to note is it is time bound. Here it is available only for 2 hours. Initially, if you are working and just want to learn SharePoint during your free time, this is helpful. If you want to become a full-time expert in SharePoint also, this way is wonderful because after this is over, you can happily launch another lab and continue to work. Initially, you cannot save that work, but another alternative I would suggest is open up your OneDrive and just save your work in that. So the lab has launched. This is the content which contains the hands-on introduction. All you have to do is follow the steps what they have told you to do. It's very simple and self-explanatory. And this is the machines tab. And my personal favorite is the SP machine. You can also log into other machines. So this has the Microsoft SharePoint Central Administration, where you can start browsing the, web applications, site collections, and launch your website. So I would recommend you just follow the steps given in the hands-on to get a grip of the basics of SharePoint. So let's just wait for the machine to get connected. And the good thing here is, if you don't need to remember your username and password, if you forget also, you just have to select the paste username and paste password. This is more than enough. If you want to do copy of the clipboard text, use this paste clipboard text. And there are other options like the shortcuts. And let's just go ahead and launch the central administration. Just click start. So this has started and select SharePoint 2013 Central Administration. So the Central Administration site is opening. This link can be accessed from other machines also. For example, now I've logged into the SPAF machine and I've launched the Central Administration. And make sure you save your work, which is a good practice all the time. And note that there is a time limit for this virtual lab. For the username and password, let's just paste it rather than typing it. Paste username and paste password. Click OK. So the central administration has launched. If you see, there are so many things you can do. You can start managing your web applications, or you can start off by creating your web application and then create your first site collection, then create your sub-site if needed. So as a good practice, you should have only 20 web applications. So there are so many things you can do like backup, restore. You can start playing around with central administration if you want to become an expert in administrator. Otherwise, if you want to start learning development, you can play around with Visual Studio or SharePoint Designer to start learning how to develop custom solutions like workflows and document solutions. So if you want to launch other tools, you have the PowerShell, Visual Studio, you can launch them. So this is a summary of the Microsoft Virtual Labs, which is my personal favorite also, which is very easy. You don't have to spend time in installing. It is free and we just need to have an Outlook account. The only drawback is it is available only for 2 hours and you may not be able to save your work. So in case you're doing any development work, worst case you can just save that work and put that in your OneDrive, or for, uh, for now this is the only, there are other alternatives. And let's just go ahead to the next option of development, which is the critical path training. So this is also a wonderful way of development where you just need a powerful hardware or a powerful laptop with 8 GB RAM, and you can go to this link, https criticalpathtraining.com/article/critical path training, or you just go to critical path training and give a search for SharePoint 2013 virtual machine setup guide. So this is a wonderful way of development, and if you're very keen on learning SharePoint, I would definitely recommend this course. This is one of the best, and you even have the greatest SharePoint 2016 masters over here, and you can happily learn on your own also and register for the classes. You just need to become a member, and you will definitely have to spend some time to install SharePoint if you're very keen on learning SharePoint. So uh, for that, you have to go to this link, criticalpathtraining.com/articles, critical path training SharePoint Server 2013 virtual machine setup guide, and click enter. So if you are a member, you'll be given a link to download the setup. And I'll just click download. I think I've already downloaded that. 2013 virtual machine setup guide. So if you see, the setup time is around 10 to 16 hours. So I would say you would need probably 1 week of time if you're working, and during your free time, you can spend some time to install this. So overall steps is you would have to install a Hyper-V to install the Windows Server 2008 or Windows Server 2012. And after that, you have to install the SharePoint prerequisites, the SQL Server, and you can uh, just follow the steps one by one to get a successful SharePoint 2013 VM. But the greatest advantage is you have your own SharePoint server setup, you have your own codes, and you might even start developing your SharePoint projects, and you can start showcasing that to your clients and start working on SharePoint. So the next way of development is using Azure. So personally, I had actually tested the install of SharePoint Server 2016 on Azure when I had a free trial version. I followed the critical path steps from the critical path training and tried to install in Azure. So I created a separate a domain controller computer and a computer to install SharePoint, and I tried installing SharePoint on another machine. That is one way. Otherwise, you can use that is a real-time way of environment. Another way is you can install everything into one machine using the default SharePoint's image provided in Azure. You have a default SharePoint 2013 as well as 2016 image coming in Azure. Only thing, it's paid based on the usage. It will be charged only for the users of Windows Server. Another advantage is you don't necessarily have to log into the browser. You can install Windows remote desktop connection and start logging into the SharePoint server. And you can follow the steps from carlstorm.com, who explain very well on how to install SharePoint in Azure. So as a quick summary, we saw the various ways we can install SharePoint and start learning SharePoint. So the best and preferable and easy and time-saving way is using Microsoft Virtual Labs. Only thing, it is available only for 2 hours. Even if you want to spend the time entire day learning SharePoint, use for 2 hours, then again log in and use. That is one option. And if you want to save your work, you can use that OneDrive to save your work for now. The next best way is to install SharePoint in your own laptop, or if you have access to server, that will be great, where you can Windows Server and you can install SharePoint on that. So Critical Path Training provides a wonderful PhD where they have all the scripts needed to set up the entire SharePoint site collection and all that. And there is there is some effort needed to install SharePoint, around 10 to 16 hours. In Azure, you have to just pay and install SharePoint using the virtual privilege. So, or you can use apps for it if needed to install SharePoint. It is charged.